Springtime, nature comes alive, and that's when all the trees start blooming, all the bushes start blooming, and the bees start buzzing. Here's one gathering some nectar to take back home. Another bee gathering nectar. All of nature comes alive. The pine trees start blooming. The grass starts turning green. All the fruit trees bloom. Everything comes to life. That's the time of year a young man's fancy turns to love, and he goes walking in the park with his girlfriend, amongst other things. And there's another sign of love in the springtime, and still more bees gathering nectar. We call this a snowstorm in the blue, just a whole sky full of white blossoms. This is a bee's eye view of a blossom, up close. Everything just comes to life. That's the time of year when a beekeeper's thoughts turn to a big honey crop. And we heard there was a big beekeeper over in East Texas that did things a little bit different. We wanted to pay him a visit. Oh, look at that little blue flower looking at you there. Anyhow, to look up this beekeeper, we decided we had to first go find him by air. So we got a helicopter to take us looking for him. Because, you know, that deep East Texas there, that's just kind of like a jungle there. There are a lot of trees. You just can't hardly get around there. So we got this helicopter to take us, go look and see if we can find this beekeeper. As you can see, there's just nothing but trees, trees, trees. And more trees there. And I'll tell you, this was a noisy ride, too. I'll let you hear what it was like. Boy, you couldn't holler loud enough. Hey, wait a minute there. Here we got some beehives strung out along trails in the woods down there. Looks like a whole bunch of them together in one place there. That surely must be the guy we're looking for. Yeah, a warehouse here, semi-truck, and other trucks parked around there. Looks like maybe we got another warehouse here in the woods. Yeah, another warehouse, and bees all over there. So I'm sure we've found the guy we're looking for there. Go back to the helicopter landing spot, and get in our four-wheeler and go track him down a little closer. Like I say, boy, we're glad to have this noisy ride over with. Yeah, there we found a mailbox there, Jay's Beezy's Honey Company, at the intersection of Highway 777 and Easy Street. Yeah, that Easy Street, that's if you like hard work. You're looking up at the old home place there. We decided to go in and look around and see what we could find. And hey, wait a minute here. This is not the kind of beekeeper we're looking for. We're looking for a modern beekeeper. You better go keep looking. Yeah, there we found him with his fingers in a beehive.
Say, can we spend a year with you and the bees?
Oh, hell yeah. I'd be glad to tell you about the birds and the bees. Come on.
Do you ever get stung?
You know, nobody's ever asked me that question, and I sure am glad you asked, because I've been thinking for a long time about an answer I'd like to give, and that is, does a mechanic ever get grease on his fingers? Come on, we'll spend some time with the bees. We got Jay's Beezy's Honey Company proudly presents a video entitled A Year with the Bees, a second edition. The first edition had a few flaws in it that we didn't like too well. And we've added some new things. Our year gets started on cell row, and the bees start buzzing, bringing in pollen. And that all happens along about mid-January, and that's the time when we got to get with it. We got to pick out a breeder queen that we're going to use to raise all our daughters from that year. We picked this one because of the cleanliness of the hive. That hive hadn't been scraped clean that way. That's just the way the workers take care of it. And she produced about 350 pounds of surplus last year. Gentle on the comb, and a nice color, we think, and showed some indication of disease resistance and chalk brood resistance. Just about everything that a beekeeper would like to have in a breeder queen. We got the queen picked out. We got to get our cell bars ready for grafting in them. We use a plastic cup provided by JZ's BZ's Honey Company, where the cup pushes in a hole drilled in the cell bar there. You can see it goes in mighty fast and easy. Saves an awful lot of work compared to dipping wax cups and stick them on the cell bar with wax and then have to cut them off. Just awful easy doing it this way. And when we get all our cell bars ready, why, we start grafting. You got a young gal named Wilma, real good eyesight and steady nerves that can pick that little worm out of there and transfer it real speedy. And then of course we put those bars in a frame, getting them ready to put in the starter. This is all done in a room where the temperature and humidity is controlled to hold it about the same as in the inside of a beehive, so that those little worms can continue to develop even while they're out of the hive. Here we're zooming in. You kind of hope maybe we could see that little 12-hour worm in the cup there. And we put the graft in the hive.
Big things is the pollen cakes. In my opinion, the pollen mixture.
We'd like to have a lot of pollen in there to make sure those little bees, those little worms, get plenty of protein. This is an overall view of our cell raising yard, and a robber cage that we use in case things get a little out of control. And we're going to have a look at some 2-day cells after the bees been working on them a little.
Okay, you'll notice the wax has started well, real well, and I wouldn't say this is an outstanding comb. The acceptance is outstanding. There's an occasional one that didn't take. See one here. You look down at the top, you can see glinting in the sun that you don't even have to look for the wax. All you got to do is just look at the occasional one. Like there's one that didn't take. You just find the ones that are obviously have no royal jelly. You can count your acceptance twice as fast as...
Now here we're going to take another shot at looking down in there and seeing that little worm. It'd be about a couple days older now, and you could almost see it down in there. Now we're going to look at some finished cells here.
Is that you can get the cells out of the hive easier without the bars sticking way out to the side. When you come straight up with it, you're not always raking honey and stuff off of where they fatten these adjacent cones off. Those are nice looking cells though, you know? I like those. And I've got the bigger ones out here too.
That 45s he's talking about, there's 45 cells per frame per colony. This is a chart that we keep track of the cell yard on, the weather, where the cells are and everything. Here we got queen mating nukes in the warehouse waiting to be stocked with bees. sitting there with the frame spread apart, so we just plop the bees in. When we get them filled, we take them out, put them in the trails out in the woods. We got names for all of our trails there. This one happens to be Commode Alley. You can kind of guess why there. The paper's under the can. This is Crown Ridge Drive. We set out about 900 of these 4-bangers. That's 3,600 pockets, and run them about 4 times in the spring. That'd be about it for the year for us. Oh, hey, listen to those pretty birds there. Let's shut off this man-made music and listen to Mother Nature sing to us. You know, would you believe that I have employees working for me that go out there and soak up that atmosphere and sunshine and listen to the birds sing and still expect to get paid for it? Yeah. Here's Wilma packing cages of the type that we used to use before we decided we had to have a better one. We didn't like the wood cages because they weigh too much, cost too much to mail them. Takes too much work getting them ready, stapling the screen on, putting the plastic sheet on, and of course they're hard to get in the hive. So we designed a better cage, and we'll let Shelley tell you about it.
Factory open like this. To get it ready to use, you simply push it into some candy. Like a cookie cutter. Simply push it into some candy like a cookie cutter. Press each end of the candy to set it firmly in the tube. Snap it shut, it's ready to go.
Yeah, it's pretty simple, and just think how easy it fits in the hive. We've had reports of better than ever before acceptance rates with them. This is a plastic injection molding die that those queen cages are made in. The man there is putting the ejector pins in place. We had it apart to do some rework on it. You can see there's a jungle of them there. And those are the pins, and the shape sticking out here is the male side of the die. And of course these pins are attached to that plate there, and when it oscillates back and forth, it pushes the part off of or out of the die. And here's the thing all put together, weighs 953 pounds worth of steel there. They're putting it in the machine, getting ready to run it. Those hoses sticking out there are for water lines that let water flow through there to keep it cool. Here's those ejector pins in operation. That's what kicks the part off. There we go. We just cranked out 16 of them. The machine comes back together. Hot plastic under 3,000 psi is pushed in there, allowed to cool, and let it set up. Comes apart, and we cranked out 16 more of them. Now we're going to go pick queens with Charles for a while here. You know, this music you hear in the background there now, that's not music we've added. That's music that Charles has playing on his own music box all the time he's working in the queen yard. You know, Charles used to be an instructor at a university in Chicago. He's got a degree in math, a degree in chemistry, and a degree in philosophy. And he just kind of got tired of the old rat race and decided to join us in the bee business about 7 years ago, and best we can tell, he's been happy with us ever since. You know, we raise queens for ourselves and to sell, and we have a motto that says, when we cage them, we never know whether they're yours or ours. Oh, here we have a young mama. We got to have some hot music for her to dance to. Watch your mouth. I know your name, what you're about. And they say the sky's the limit, and to me this really true. The end of the case.